26th Amendment, which is the United States Constitution prohibits the states and the federal government from using age as a reason for denying the right to vote to citizens of the United States who are at least 18 years old. Some background on the 26th Amendment goes a little something like this. Long before the 26th Amendment was ratified, the minimum age to vote was always 21 years of age in the United States. The rock-steady age limit came under scrutiny in World War II as the minimum age to be drafted by the military had been set to 18. To many Americans at the time, having young adults to be able to fight for their country, yet not be able to have their own input on who runs the country, they very well could die. That makes little sense. However, the movement to lower the minimum to 18 escalated during the Vietnam War. Old enough to fight, old enough to vote became the slogan of the voting rights movement that first glanced at recognized support from President Dwight D. Eisenhower, and then later recognized by President Richard Nixon. So what we see from that little background, we get a strong sense of the fact that these young men were going to risk their lives in another country, in another part of the world, to help fight, defend, and basically keep the nation from getting into more problems than it was then. So they felt that if they had the right to get a bullet in their head, that they should have the right to vote. And seeing that they didn't get that treatment when they got home, they felt that it was time to make a change to the system. A little more background on the situation. President Eisenhower only announced support. Nixon passed the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and although Oregon challenged and won support, no. It was not before long the 26th Amendment was passed on March 23, 1971, and ratified in a record time of 2 months, fastest amendment ratified in the U.S. in history. And on July 1st, 1971, unlike past voting amendments, 15th and 19th in particular, the 26th Amendment was widely accepted by both the public and the government officials. So basically what that meant was that even though that this was a fast-paced amendment that was added to the Constitution, everybody felt that it was a need to have, because if we're able to send our people out to fight in wars and them not having the same right as pretty much everybody that's over the age of 21 not being able to have the right to vote, because back then the right to vote was everything, and they felt if they couldn't vote, then they had no sense of security and no sense of power, so that they couldn't make change for themselves rather than just fighting for their country and being what people want them to be.